Welcome back to the Quintessential Quintuplets Anime Review, episode number 9. This reviewing the 18th episode of the anime, The Last Exam. Yep, this one that's pretty much almost the rest of the second exam arc, the second year exam arc from the manga. Yeah, it almost does it, but it doesn't have the last chapter. Nope, it doesn't. I thought it did. I look at my line, I said, oh yeah, is that the last chapter? I look it up like, no, it did not. My guess is this last chapter probably did the last one, but yeah, they got pretty much rest of this whole arc, no problem. Now, fun little factor with this arc. Now, when they show like the ending of every chapter, we see the results of the exam. What they did with this is they took those last pages and combined them at the very end of the episode, which, ingenious. I like that. That was actually pretty smart to do. It's almost like, shows one exam result, one, like every 5 minutes. It would be like kind of ridiculous doing all at once what they did. That by far was a brilliant stroke of genius on the part of the studio. Yep, and this whole episode is everybody pretty much... Now, we pick up exactly where last week's episode left off, where we don't actually include in Futro's conversation with the girl's stepfather that much, but like, oh yeah, so he's that scary. He's like, yep. So, they all volunteer, they go back to do some studying, and they study for a while. They even have Ichika go out and get a reference book for, well, Yoshimi. Well, there's a reason for that, because Nino is trying to make up chocolate Futuro. Her cooking is getting pretty terrible, so basically, Ichika asks Miko to help her make the chocolate. And she does. Later on, we see him actually eating the chocolate. It was delicious. Oh yeah, and also when he revealed this, yeah, she was coming out of her bedroom, where her top for her PJs, it looks like she was kind of in a hurry before she went. She looked like she was so tired. She couldn't button properly. Almost looked like she was her shirt's about to come off, like show off her shoulder. But luckily enough that she remembered. Oh yeah, be sure to put the didn't exactly share herself out, but basically yes. So they all studied for a while. And then, of course, well, thanks to the book that was bought for him by Iisuka, yeah, which is, yeah, I'm nearly ran out of my savings, basically, nearly out of savings for this one. So, yeah, they actually cut a scene from the manga here. Yeah, there was a scene where she runs a couple classmates of hers, where they recognize and also notice that there's actually a mark on the back of her hand, because notice how popular she is. That she, well, might hurt herself. But nope, her hand's basically from when she banged her hand against the barred windows. Yep. There's also a moment here for, I think it was one of the sisters, I think it's Iisuka? Not Iisuka, it's one of the other sisters, where she's praying at her late mother's grave, and there's a woman shows up, and she says, Sensei? And they say, no, I'm her daughter. And she's like so surprised to see that. And they chat for a while. That basically, she remembered this basically how her mother was teacher. She wasn't exactly a very cruel teacher. She was very friendly, but she wasn't, let's say, evil teacher. But she's very useful, and she was able to basically survive for 1 year that she basically had with her. And she became a cram school instructor. Okay. And because her mother was a teacher, she's like, okay, I'll put that down. It's like, they actually make a slight change here, because in the manga, she uses like the tip of the fork to stop her pen. In the anime, she uses the handle. I think she uses the knife. Yeah, they switch what utensil uses to stop the pen. Which, I'm like, what was wrong using the fork? Why switch the knife for? Yeah, this I found to be like, really? Why the heck would they switch this for? Even though mostly they kept pretty much a lot of the stuff from the manga pretty much intact, and yet this was a change. Yep. And then after chatting for a while, she's like, yep, I'm going to become a teacher. And from what I heard, at the end of the series, she does. Yeah, I know it's kind of spoiling the ending, but yeah, she has become a teacher. Mm-hmm. So, eventually, like, everybody basically, after studying for a while, like, Futuro was like, let's take a break. Because basically, too much cramming basically be too exhausting. So what's that they do? Go to a theme park. Yep. They have fun. And of course, Yoshio, who had plenty of energy to study, decided to sneak away to do some studying on the Ferris wheel. And of course, Futo found her really easily thanks to her ribbon that makes her act like a bunny. Yep, it's like, oh. Like, oh yeah, this thing is accurate. Oh, don't worry, it's perfectly fine. Yep. And then he realizes, though, while talking to her, that she's actually good with Japanese. And it turns out each of the girls, he notices like right away that each of the girls is good with one particular subject. So kind of in a way, they teach each other. Which proved to be pretty positive. Oh yeah. And then they have their test, and they all pass. Yep, every single girl passes. Which, that's a shocker. They all passed their exam, unlike the midterm where they actually all failed. Here, they passed. And they go celebrate at the place where Fujo's working, this cake shop. Miko's not there because she's going to go visit somebody. She's going to talk to somebody. Yeah, she's not there. And Fujo's boss like, okay, yeah. Here's your celebration, and we're deducting it from his pay. And Fujo's like, please tell me you're joking, boss. I thought that was so funny. So then basically the episode ends with him going out to get Miko. Yep. Now they revealed the actual results of the test during the closing credits, which I actually kind of like it when anime does when they still tell the story despite the fact the ending credits are rolling. I don't mind that at all. I've never heard anybody ever complain about that because you can still get more story out despite the fact the credits probably at that point you have the credits roll and you can still have more story there. Don't just waste it basically on a blank screen, which kudos on the anime for doing that. This actually was a pretty good episode. Definitely looking forward to next week, which is going to wrap up this arc. It's going to call Begin the Offensive. Yes. And I'm still wondering though, okay, now here's the thing. This was the 6th episode, roughly halfway through the season, and like, okay, so maybe next week we're going to do the scrambled eggs arc. That's going to be interesting. And maybe at the rate they're going, it might go to Fujo's birthday. That might be something. But I'm hoping they cover Labor Day Thanksgiving because I thought it was kind of weird that they skipped over this arc. I mean, it's 2 chapters. You can easily squeeze an episode, but nope, you just choose not to do it for some reason. Maybe they might adapt it next week. Who knows? It depends upon what the studio wants to do with the next episode. And as of right now, we're halfway through season 2. Yeah, I presume we're going to have 2 episodes because that's how much the first season had, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now, as far as I've looked up online, that it's just to be announced. Like, it could be 2 episodes, it could be more. Who knows? Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if they have the season cover the rest of the manga, because when they finish up second year exam, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's roughly 9 arcs left. And a lot of these arcs are really short. The only one that might take a while is School Festival. Yeah, this one is roughly 19 chapters. Everything else is like pretty short. Scrambled Eggs like 9. New Class arc that is roughly 6. Fujo's Birthday, 3 chapters. Kaito Trip, 9. Quintuplets Flashback, 4. Sun Vacation, 5. The final arc, Quintuplets World, that one is roughly 8 chapters. So, it would be surprising if they covered the rest of the arc, the rest of the series in this season. I mean, it is distinctly possible. Heck, this episode roughly covered, like, pretty much 4 full chapters. And I think, 4 full chapters, and they finished up adapting another chapter already, which, not surprising. What I mean, last week's episode, they adapted a lot for 1 episode. Oh gosh, yes they did. Like, for last week's episode, they covered like a lot of chapters. Like, they covered roughly like they finished up 48 and 50. Yeah, they covered stuff they missed for the previous week's episode, and they covered 50 and 53 fully, and 54 most of it except for the last 3 pages. Yeah. But mostly put, they covered, like, they finished up one arc, they went through the entirety of another arc, and they started basically second year exam. And this episode, they mostly gotten through it. Mm-hmm. Yes. I would definitely say they got most of it done. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, but not much else to say about this episode. Just that was actually pretty good. Okay, so that's it for single review. Next review is going to be 2 comic corners. And then probably my last video for today will probably be Yoshima Have Team Princess. That'll come up soon. Okay, to the next video. Bye.